So, in a previous video, I looked at the heavyweights on the card of Crawford versus Madrimov. Who did I think would win? But today, let's look at the main event. And I'm going to focus on how can Madrimov win as an underdog in this fight. There's no doubt that he's an underdog in this fight. Crawford is very well considered to be in the top 3, pound for pound, best boxers in the world, alongside Usyk and Inoue probably. And although Madrimov has looked good, pretty much everyone is expecting Crawford to win. Well, not everyone, but it's probably fair to say the vast majority of boxing fans think Crawford's going to win. But how can Madrimov win as an underdog? How have boxers won as an underdog in the past? Well, to have a look at how underdogs can win a boxing match, let's go back to Crawford versus Lucien Bute. In my opinion, this is a great example of how to win as an underdog in a fight. So in this fight, Crawford was coming off of a loss to Andre Ward in the World Boxing Super Series, and Lucien Bute was considered to be one of the best super middleweights in the world. He wasn't in the competition, but a lot of people thought that if he was in the tournament, he would have won it. He hadn't fought many major names on his record, but he'd had 10 title defenses and he'd won 8 of them by knockout. So Crawford was a huge underdog going into this fight. A lot of people thought Bute would win, but Crawford won. He got a TKO in the 5th round, and it was a wipeout. Crawford destroyed him. So how does he do this? I think it's worth noting that, you can win as an underdog, and the boxing landscape can change very quickly. Just look at Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney. Devin Haney was considered to be the next Floyd Mayweather before he fought Ryan Garcia. And then, he gets dropped by Ryan Garcia 3 times, loses, and, all of a sudden, he's a laughing stock. The boxing landscape can change very quickly, and even though not a lot of people are giving Madrimov a chance, he can definitely win this fight. So, how did Crawford beat Lucien Bute? Well, I think the first thing to state is he had a lot of self-confidence. You have to go in there and really believe in yourself and really believe that you can win. I think that is the key. Second point is you have to play your own game. You have to know what you are good at, and you have to do that. You don't let your opponent do what he wants to do. Crawford said about Lucien Bute that if he'd gone in there and tried to play Bute's game, kept at range, jabbed, Bute would have destroyed him because that's where he's best at. But he didn't let Bute do what he was best at. Instead, he brought the fight to him. He made him uncomfortable. He fought him on the inside, he roughed him up, and that was how he won, because he played his own game. He didn't let Lucien Bute play his game. I think the next point I would make is you have to be willing to unleash your punches and just run down your gas tank. You could see what this is Froch did against Bute. He wasn't concerned about, storing energy and going until the 12th round. When Froch had him, he just let his punches go, and it really worked. Bute's legs were gone, he was struggling, he'd never really been in a fight like this before. Froch is doing what he's best at. He knew that he could unleash his punches and hurt Bute. He thought, you know what, if we're going to trade, I reckon I have the better chin. And he just let go. And I think that was why Crawford had so much success against Bute in one of the defining wins of his career. Although this win doesn't get the credit I think it deserves, everyone looks to the George Groves wins, or when he went to America and beat Jermaine Taylor in the last round when he was down on points. Lucien Bute was definitely a defining win for Crawford. And although we consider Crawford to be such a legend, it's easy to forget that he was an underdog in this fight. I guess it's difficult to see Crawford losing just because he won against, a lot of the major names in his division. And I think that's what a champion should do, right? A lot of times champions are too quick to, they get one win, they want to move up, they want to become a 2-time champion. But I think if you really want to be great, you've got to wipe out everyone in your own division first and then move up, which is what Terence Crawford has done. He's got some great names on his record. Porter, Brooke, Van Senyan, Khan, and of course Errol Spence. Errol Spence was a wipeout as well, wasn't it? It was meant to be a 50-50 fight, and Crawford just told him that there was levels. I guess the one thing I would say for that fight is you look at Errol Spence and think, that's not the prime Errol Spence. I think the car crash he had really took a lot out of him. To go through a car crash of that severity and then to come back to boxing and fight, one of the pound for pound greatest fighters in the world, it takes a lot of credit. So although I'm sure Errol Spence gets a lot of hate for losing that fight, got to keep that in mind that he was injured. But obviously, you give all the credit to Crawford, right? Because he does look incredible. And I mean, you're looking at Crawford and you're thinking, does he have any weaknesses? It's almost like with Usyk, where you look at him and you think, you're not going to outbox this guy. You're probably going to have to just empty the gas tank, say, if I get knocked out, I get knocked out, and just really put it on him if you do get him weak. which we saw Carl Froch do against Lucien Bute. Just put his punches together, empty the gas tank. So of course it's possible that Madrimov could beat Crawford, but I don't see it happening. I think he's only had 10 fights. Crawford's had so many more fights. Crawford's so experienced, good chin, good boxer. He's still got power. It's not like he's just a boxer that can't hit hard. He's got power, he can box, he's got endurance. It's hard to see Crawford losing, but as I said, boxing landscapes can change very quickly. A lot of the boxing media didn't think Devin Haney would lose. He lost to Ryan Garcia, so things can change very quickly. For my prediction, I think I would say Crawford gets him out of there in the later rounds. The fight reminds me a little bit of Bivol versus Zinad. You know, I don't think, probably like a little bit inexperienced. Do you think you'd maybe want a few more fights before fighting Crawford? But obviously the opportunity came, so you've got to take it, right? This is boxing. You should always take fights. And again, look at Andy Ruiz versus Anthony Joshua. Upsets do happen. And obviously, if Crawford comes through this fight, there are talks of him fighting Canelo. Personally, I'm just not interested in that fight. I think the weight difference is too much. I think Canelo hits too hard. I'd much rather see Crawford against... I mean, Conor Benn would be a great fight, but Conor Benn's can't fight in England, which is a bit irritating. Teofimo Lopez, that could be a good fight. Maybe he's a bit too small for him. But yeah, this will be a great win for whoever wins. Great name on their record. And it's a really exciting card as well, provided by Saudi. Leave me your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think Madrimov has a chance? Or do you think this will be a wipeout from Crawford? Comment your thoughts down below. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.